All right, welcome back, everyone. Gigi and I are here at AWS, and we're joined by a couple new friends that we have here. We're excited for another launch. So why don't we let them introduce themselves here first?
Hi, I'm Masanya Scott. I'm the head of Partner Integrations Engineering in the Partner Org.
All right.
I'm Joe Thomas. I'm a senior systems development engineering for the Partner Org as well.
Fantastic. So we've got the Partner Org on stage with us right now. We've got the expo in the background. We've already been going for an hour this morning, and we're really excited to hear about your new launch. So could you give us a little bit of background for anyone who is watching that may not understand what we have to offer from your side, from the Partner Integration Org, and then also talk about your launch a little bit?
Yeah. So in our partner services, we have two key suites of products, Partner Central as well as AWS Marketplace, right?
Yeah.
And so we're bringing those together in different mechanisms. One, we recently announced the launch of our automation capabilities with Marketplace APIs for sellers, right? And then earlier this year, we launched the Partner CRM Connector that dealt with co-sale motions for ACE. So they allowed our partners to bring their sales opportunities and leads to their familiar tooling like Salesforce. So we launched a Partner CRM Connector for Salesforce earlier this year. And our partners gave us feedback that, as you guys are building out automation, we want to meet AWS in our familiar tooling, not just for co-sale, but also for our sales motions. So yesterday it was announced that we relaunched the AWS Partner CRM Connector for Salesforce in a modular experience. So not only can you do co-sale motions, you can also do sales motions with Marketplace.
Very
right?
nice.
That's awesome.
I love that you said you took the feedback and brought it into your launch. That is so important here at AWS.
Yes.
I know, at least in my org, we what do we say, 95% of our roadmap is based on feedback. And you guys really, so you launched it earlier this year and then totally added another piece into your launch.
Yes,
that's a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
And giving our partners and sellers choice, right?
Right.
You can either use the co-sale with the ACE integration, so APN customer engagements, or you can use the marketplace. But we want you to use both, because we want you to get that end-to-end interoperability. So as you're building those co-sale and partnerships with AWS and our partners, then as you're making those private offers with your customers and showing that end-to-end experience for partners so that they don't have to traverse and, do that swivel chair experience, right?
Yeah.
So their main, system of CRM will be Salesforce or other tools.
I'm copying the swivel chair experience.
I like that.
I like
That's
it.
really well
right?
said.
It's really well said.
Like a robot. You go here, key something in, go here, key something in.
Yeah.
No. Why don't we meet you, bring AWS to you?
Exactly.
Yes.
To me, this is a great example of two things. One, connecting, the discussion we had earlier was simplification of the security hub. Here is simplification for customers. But this is a great way for us to say, not only are we helping our customers, but we're helping our customers help their customers and do an even better job. So we're helping kind of, multiple people. We're answering kind of the customer request saying, here's the feedback that you guys have ingested. But that feedback is going to help, even more people down the line here too.
Yeah. It's my mission to help our partners get out of the tactical task of doing business with us and let us build partnerships of figuring out what's that next innovation to create that synergy, right?
Yeah.
So I want them to not worry about co-sale. I want them to just go co-sale. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that
totally
makes a lot of
makes
sense.
sense. Love it.
It's a lot of energy that goes into just not the infrastructure of it, but the less interesting work to just make things connected and, figure out how to make sure the other side knows what's going on.
Exactly.
I know my product integrates with a lot of partners, and it's constantly an improvement process for making that feel good for all the sellers.
Yes.
And this is awesome. This is so cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to take it a bit further, right? So when we look at partners, there is ISVs, the independent software vendors, and then we have channel partners as well, right? With the features that we are building, we are taking both sides, right? So we are enabling ISVs to create private offers. We are enabling them to create resale authorization. And we are also enabling channel partners to use those resale authorization in their Salesforce tooling to create that channel partner private offer for our partners, right? And our customers as well. So we are taking it end to end.
That's just fantastic.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, the times I've had conversations with partners, they're always asking for, asking us to do things to help them be better at what they do. And, then enablement, makes a seamless experience for them as well. To Gigi's point, there's certain things that we all have to do at work to keep track of stuff, and you're just like, oh, I just spent a half hour doing blah, blah, blah. It doesn't feel, it's value add, but it's not. It doesn't feel personally value add, and this is like removing some of that from people.
Yes,
right?
removing that friction. My charter is to remove the friction so that our partner sellers and even our buyers can do business, right?
Yeah.
And so that's that. The one thing also, even with the on the A side from Partner Central perspective, we've enhanced it where we're given a baseline, right, of showing how can you connect, how can you do your mappings, how can you at a baseline create a private offer. So that, we have our way of doing co-sell, right? But then a lot of our partners have their own governance around how they use their CRM tools. So we want to extract and say, hey, this is what ACE needs for you to do business. So we're going to show you it, give you the ability to create a opportunity, and then have that update bidirectionally in ACE and give you those extra validations that you need.
Very nice. I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question that if someone, just hopped on and they're like, oh, that sounds interesting. I have a company that I'd like to partner with AWS. I'd like to have access to all these tools. What's the first step in getting involved with being, integrated with us to co-sell or whatever it might be?
I would say first step is to onboard to our network. So we do have on our APN network site a way to do that.
Okay.
Is to onboard, and then once you go through that process, then you'll learn about the different ways to partner with us from that way.
Got it.
So visit our Partner Central site, visit APN network to do that. So that's step one. Yeah.
So you can just look up AWS Partner Central site, right?
Yes.
To find, just to be clear, sometimes we roll out something. In my last session, I was like, trust me, I did Google this before. It works. All you have to do is find. So it's the same here. The Partner Central site is
and in our partner network.
I've been to it.
Yes.
It's pretty easy to find.
Go to our partner network first.
Go to the partner network
register, then start the process, and then you go get to Partner Central.
Got it.
Yeah.
And it's very simple, by the way, to get started. So I don't want, people are like, register, what am I giving? We're not going to send you a mailer at your house or something.
Exactly.
Like, we're not looking for that.
Yes.
It's simplified here to get started. Yeah. Absolutely.
Very nice. So I think we might have something to show the.
Yes, it's demo time.
I would love to see some details on this. If you could walk us through it. I'm excited to ask questions and interrupt you. So please.
Gigi. I guess that's what we
get
do.
My questions.
Yes.
That is what we do.
Let's start from co-sell, and then we'll get into the sales motions, right?
Perfect.
And then show how we can bring those two back together.
Great.
We're going to do that kind of end to end. You get what I'm saying? That interoperability. That's what we're going to do.
I get it.
Take it off, Joe.
Absolutely. So what you see here is one of our Salesforce organization, and you can actually see the AWS Partner CRM Connector installed. It is available in Salesforce App Exchange for no cost, so you can actually download it in your Salesforce organization. And what you see here is the number of features that we are bringing in, right? So one of the features is what Masania was talking about on the co-sell motion, right? Sharing opportunities, receiving leads, right? So let's look at a partner who is trying to create a partner-originated opportunity, right? And they can go to this tab, the ACE Opportunities tab. They can click on New, and they can fill in all these fields. But then we have some mandatory parameters, right? So when we ask partners to fill in an opportunity form, we expect partners to fill certain parameters for them, right? And what we have done is, with the custom form that we have introduced, we have created all those validations into the form itself, right? So that the partners can enter the data just by looking at the form, provided they understand what they're filling in at as well. So for the sake of our demo, so I've actually pre-filled some of those details, right? So if you see here, I've filled in all the details that is required for a partner to create a partner-originated opportunity with APN or ACE, right? And then let's see, I've filled in all the details, and let's see how I can share this opportunity with APN, right? So I want to go and enable that this should be synced with AWS, right? I want to make sure that the partners who are sharing those opportunities with AWS, they're only sharing the opportunities that they definitely need to send to AWS, right? And then I click on Save, right? And it's as simple as that, right? So now you have the Send to AWS button available for you, and you click on it. The partner is going to, AWS and ACE is going to receive that opportunity. Right? Pretty sweet, right?
Yeah, I think that this is, it's really simple. I mean, and even reading through the format, I know there were a lot of fields in there, but they're the type of fields, honestly, that you can fill in really quickly. You know, it's not
you don't have to go and find something and bring it back.
Yeah,
exactly. It's one of the things you should have. You probably have it right in the front of your brain, ready to type in.
And another thing that we do is that if you do a certain type of opportunity a lot, you can clone it.
Oh.
And then you know what?
All right.
Did you
down
hear
with
me?
that,
You can clone it.
That.
Yes.
That is so fun.
Yes.
Can we I'm looking to clone myself, by the way.
Oh, I want to clone my dog.
No.
That's
Oh,
more
you just
what
your
I'm like.
dog?
I'm going to stay me. I don't want to be cloned.
Oh,
Okay.
no?
No.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, join the cloning
Join the
party.
cloning? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if
Create
this
a
world
product
could
feature
handle
request.
another Masanya. So.
That's
But yeah.
True. All right.
Oh, I was going to say create a product feature request. We'll give it a shot. Why not?
Hey, that's how this got started.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Right?
Customer obsession.
So exactly. All right. Let's finish with further into the demo.
Oh, absolutely, right? So now the next thing that I want to show you is with this opportunity, right? So the partner has shared an opportunity, but the partner wants to make a private offer to the buyer, right? So let's see how that experience looks like, right?
So we're moving from ACE, now we're going into marketplace private offers.
Got it.
think
Got
this
it.
is great.
I think you're going to need to clarify a little bit as someone
absolutely.
who's not deep in the partner org.
Oh.
Yeah. So
what that means.
a private offer is an agreement between a partner and their buyer to do a transaction.
Okay.
Okay. So they're going to make this little private offer based on the parameters of what they want, the product that they want to have.
So it's like an offer between, let's say we were in two different companies. It would be an offer from me in the selling company to you directly. It would be kind of like if you, in the old days where you filled out and you requested RFPs from somebody, you got proposals back.
I think that still happen today.
Yeah,
they do.
And so that partner may have a public listing that's available to everybody.
That's right.
But they're like, hey, you're my friend.
That's right.
Let me do something private with you. That's
now
that
we're
kind
down
of
to brass tacks. Like,
exactly.
Here's exactly what we're going to do.
Yeah. So this is agreement between a partner and their buyer.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
And the buyer is able to negotiate the price, negotiate the end user license agreement for the offer that they're creating between each other, right? So the buyer is getting a better deal than what they want from the public listing.
Yes.
So,
yes.
question on that: if I'm the buyer, where do I see? Do I see this offer in Salesforce also?
No, you'll see this on your side in Marketplace.
In Marketplace.
Yeah.
Got it.
The buyer
so
will see it in Marketplace.
Information over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our connector features are specific currently for the sellers, right? So the buyers will have a different experience, which is on the AWS Marketplace, right? So they can actually see the private offers that the seller or the ISV has created for them, and then they can actually select the private offer and then subscribe or create a contract from that private offer.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So now let's look at...
Show us.
All right, so let's look at, I'm on the private offers tab right now. So this is where a partner can create a private offer for one of their buyers. So let's look at how that process looks like, right? So let me just show you, like I've staged some of those details just for the sake of time. So as you see here, you can select the product to which you're creating this private offer. And you have to fill in some of those mandatory parameters, right? So you have an offer name, you have offer description. I've filled in those things. Service length, right? So what is the service length? How long should the service be running for, right? And is it a new offer or is it a renewal offer, right? And we can also list down the product dimensions, right? So this is kind of like a dummy product, so it has pink, green, black dimensions, right? But then these are essentially what partners will be using for making sure that the buyers know how much they can use their product for, right? And then go ahead.
And you can add and subtract dimensions from this as well, right? So
that's between you and them. Yes.
And I see the add dimension here, right, as well.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so we have piggybacked on the features of AWS Marketplace Management Portal. So we are trying to bring that experience to your Salesforce tooling, right? Because for a lot of partners, that becomes their system of record.
Correct.
Right? So we want to make sure that they're getting a similar experience, but in their familiar tooling.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's what is great about what we feel about what we do, right? So it's amazing to see partners being able to use their system of record, but to transact with AWS.
Yeah.
So now let's go into some cool features that we have, right? So this is kind of like a payment schedule, right? So you can tell partners if it's a contract type of payment, you can tell partners that, hey, pay me at certain duration of time. But with this connector, we've actually introduced something called, we're calling it a payment generator or payment schedule generator, where you can actually set the payment frequency, whether it's going to be front-loaded or back-loaded, like depending on, hey, what is the remainder? Should the remainder go to the first payment or should the remainder go to the last payment? And it can also have the option of just charge me for the business day or the calendar day, right? So let's make a $10 deal with one of our buyers. And then,
it's a good deal.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to make it with me? I'll take $10.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Please. I'm taking.
I thought it was you paying them $10.
Yeah.
Other
we
way
haven't
around.
seen my wallet.
My wallet is somewhere off stage, so I've got
Absolutely.
no money.
Yeah. And let's see how that it generates the schedule, right? So as you see here, the payment schedules have been generated for the buyer, right? So it's just one click, and then if they want to modify, if the partner wants to, or the ISV wants to modify some of those payments, they have the option to do so, right?
Yeah.
So we are giving them that flexibility by giving them all the options that they need to make that transaction.
And that way the seller doesn't have to input that each and every time. We're automating and making it easier and simple.
This is awesome. As somebody that has had to deal with this in terms of like issuing, POs and things like that. This payment stuff is always the kind of bane of my existence. It's just like, can there just be a system? I mean, if I just tell you this is how
Here goes my parameters.
Right, here's my parameters. Just spell it out. I love this.
This is
great.
Yes.
Imagine a 5-year contract with monthly payments. That's like 60 entries, if my math is correct, right? So that's
it is.
Yes.
Good
math
job.
is correct. Your math is definitely
You can
correct.
also do math in addition to developing partner portals.
I'm so lucky.
So now let's just go through the rest of the steps, right? So you have to create an end user license agreement. So we are going to use standard contract for our demo, but then the partner has the ability to add their own custom end user license agreement. And we're going to say whether it's renewal. So we're going to select no for that, and then there is an expiration date, right? And then we click on create offer. It's actually going to create that offer for you, right?
Great.
So it's calling the AWS Marketplace APIs that we launched yesterday as well.
Yes.
Right? So
automation.
it's powered by the Marketplace APIs, right? So it's we call the Marketplace APIs. It does its downstream checks, and when all the downstream checks are successful, a private offer has been created for the buyer.
So when you create it, it is sent then as well to the buyer. Okay, so creation is also sending it to. Okay, great.
Yeah, and a lot of our partners may have their own custom processes, right? So they may want to send the URL of the private offer to the buyer in a separate email thread, right? But then using Salesforce, they can actually drive those automation from there itself, right? Because Salesforce has its own automation flows, right? So they can actually leverage the data that we are giving them and execute their own automation from there.
Okay. So they can personalize it as much as they want or automate it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is great.
Very nice.
Right? And let's quickly look at a private offer that is successfully created, right? So if you see here, it has the offer ID, right? It has the offer URL as well. And then we are actually giving them the ability to copy that offer URL and then send that detail to the buyer, right? And if you open the buyer portal, they'll have those offer details there for them.
Right. So they'll see it in their buyer portal, but you want to send it to them as well to say, hey, I've now actually created the offer.
Yes.
Here it is.
It's time.
It's time to take a look. Well, yeah. I mean, some people count on you looking at it, but I don't. But I send that URL.
Be transparent. Be transparent.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now let's see. So now let's close that coastal motion, right? So we created that opportunity, and then once the opportunity has been qualified and approved by AWS, we have created the private offer as well, right? So now let's see how that interoperability comes into play, right? So let's go back to the opportunity that we created, right? So as you see that the opportunity, the unique identifier of the opportunity in Partner Central has been populated, which indicates that it has been successfully created, right? And then now, with the new data model that has been introduced on November 15th at Partner Central, we are actually leveraging that here as well. You're able to enter that offer ID here, right? And actually create that end-to-end coastal motion just from the connector itself.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm digging this.
Yeah. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I love the simplicity here that you're able to, that you guys have. I mean, this is really made the process a lot easier.
Yes.
For sure, right?
Yes, yes,
And,
yes.
Yeah, by simplifying it, hopefully that means that they have more, that partners have more satisfied customers as well, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And we do want to give a shout out to some of our launch partners
Absolutely.
who gave us feedback.
Very
So
nice.
in addition to them, leveraging our APIs and capabilities, so Workspan, Tackle, and Labra, they all have joined in this synergy so that we've given options to our partners. So they can either use the connector, or they can also use one of our third-party products by our partners. And so we really want to show that's a good deal too.
Yeah, and by the way, and I appreciate the shout out as well, because I feel like, this is an even greater sign of how closely we work and with our partners and with our customers, and like to actually incorporate that feedback. And this is a direct result of some of that feedback that's been incorporated.
It's almost becoming like a think tank, right? And, and I've met with all of them here, told them, look, we're going to do goals together. We're going to do all kinds of things to make sure we help scale this together. So I love that.
No, this is great.
This is great. So is this publicly available to all partners today?
Yes.
It's all
as of yesterday.
It's totally available. How'd that launch go? A little nerve-wracking, or it all went smoothly?
Well, you know how launches go.
I do know how launches go. I don't sleep for a few days.
Like
have a little bit of smooth and have a little bit of salty rocket, and then it smooths on out. But at the end of the day, we did what was right for our partners. We kept listening to them. And then as we get feedback, yesterday was just day one.
That's right.
Amazing.
The launch is the beginning, right? And we're going to continue to iterate.
I mean, that's the awesome thing here about AWS as well.
Culture.
This is our culture of receiving that information from customers and continuously iterating on it. I mean, for those out there, I mean, there isn't, just because we launch a feature, I love it's day one. I mean, day one is our overall philosophy, but literally we operate that way with every single feature as well, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not satisfied either with any feature. The day it launches, that's just the excitement of the actual launch itself, but how do you continuously improve upon that feature to make it even better for customers, right? It's the first time it's in the real world, and how do I make it an even better person or
you open up that feedback, right?
Oh,
it's not just the few partners that you partnered with to really get the nitty-gritty, worked out. It's now all the partners that have access to it, and they'll give feedback, and it just becomes this really wonderful cycle with customers that are end customers, but also partner customers.
And partners, in my experience, are not shy about feedback.
Hello. They're not shy. But at the end of it, as we're wrapping up.
And we love the feedback, right? So
we love the feedback. It's this theme of meeting you where you are.
Yes.
Dr. Ruba Barno said that yesterday. My boss, Matt Yanchison, also said it on stage. It's about meeting you where you are, bringing AWS to you.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, Ruba Barno is the VP of Partners, and she runs the organization. Yesterday, for those who didn't take a look at, she had a keynote yesterday as well, and it was awesome. She is a phenomenal speaker. Just on a personal level,
that theme of impossible first.
That's right.
So
I have spent a great deal of time with Ruba over the last year and a half, and she is awesome to watch, and I highly encourage everybody to take a look at it as well, just to watch back as well. So and I'm pretty sure that'll be, if it's not available yet, it'll be available by the end of the afternoon.
Correct.
Take a look at
Correct.
On YouTube.
On YouTube,
On YouTube.
And you can check out the AWS YouTube channel for any of them.
Exactly. Exactly.
All the keynotes this week have been really exciting.
Yes.
And they're all on YouTube, so you can slowly watch them over time because they're kind of long.
Yeah, they are long, but I also
watch them all at once.
Sometimes when I take a look at some of this content, you look at things that people send out there, and you're like, oh boy, this takes a. But I've watched them. I watch a couple of them live, and I've watched a lot of them in repeat. And they're very consumable, frankly.
Correct.
And I think that, and I think, by the way, Ruba brings a certain dynamic, frankly, talking about her that I have watched many a thing with her, and I'm like, oh wow, an hour and a half just passed, and and it's great. Oh yeah,
great exciting time. Our partners help us scale our global community, right?
That's
our
right.
partners help us create that synergy for innovation, meeting us and meeting our buyers and meeting our customers where they are.
And a lot of partners are the first line that many potential AWS customers are introduced
Correct.
to AWS. And
Correct.
so that is why this experience, to me, is super important, because satisfying partners for AWS is also a road to making sure that we also have satisfied customers here at AWS, too. I mean, there are 4 of us up here, but this is a mechanism to really scale to a lot of other people.
Absolutely.
So we'll say, go to the Salesforce App Exchange, look for AWS Partner CRM Connector. You can also go to AWS documentation, search for Partner Central. You'll look at integrations, and you also see the Partner CRM Connector details to learn more. And we love to, get people on board, get partners on board, and let's go make some innovation for the customers.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you both for joining us today.
Yes,
This has been such a fun time.
Oh, thank you.
Good.
Thanks for answering our questions.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah.